An eye for an eye appears 3 times in the Bible, but it doesn't mean what you think it means. It's not actually about retribution, it's about limiting it. Hi, I'm Robin Whittaker, a biblical scholar and public theologian, and I'm talking about some of the most misunderstood parts of Scripture. Long before the Bible's eye for an eye, a Babylonian king called Hammurabi wrote his own set of codes. We now know these as the Code of Hammurabi, and they're literally carved into a stele. Law 196 in that code states, "If a man destroys the eye of another man, his eye shall be destroyed." Now, to modern ears, that sounds absolutely brutal. But in its ancient contexts, it limits revenge. This law existed, justice was whatever the powerful wanted it to be. If someone harmed you, you can seek retribution and take their life. If you killed or maimed a slave, possibly nothing happened if you were an elite male. Hammurabi's code said that the retribution for harm had to be of equivalent amount. You couldn't take 2 eyes for 1 eye, but it was still hierarchical. This ancient law talks about an eye for an eye if they're 2 people of equal standing. But if an elite male harms someone of lesser status, like a freedman, then they just pay a fine. And if they harm someone else's slave, then that fine is half. It inscribes in the law a different valuing for human life depending on status. And this is important when we get to the Bible's version of these codes. In Exodus 21 and Leviticus 24, we get similar language of an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a hand for a hand, but with one radical difference. There is no distinction made based on one's human status. This law applies regardless of whether you're elite, wealthy, poor, a slave or free, male or female. The biblical law is actually a profound and radical statement about human equality for its ancient context. In modern ears, this still sounds incredibly harsh, but it actually limited the kind of retribution the powerful could take for harm. And this idea of proportional justice is still the basis for much of Western law. Of course, centuries later, when we get to Matthew 5, a different rabbi called Jesus would speak about foregoing retribution at all, turning the other cheek when evil is done to you. So next time someone says an eye for an eye to justify revenge or retribution, remind them that they've got it backwards. And fun fact, if you're ever in Paris, you can go and see the Code of Hammurabi in the Louvre.